Hello heart seekers and nature lovers, welcome to another video from the Miss Kiani Medicine YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about something that's so subtle. It's so hard to put into words, but it's so beautiful and such a massive part of our lives, and for many of us is so suppressed. If you don't know me, my name is Karen Wyman. I was struck by lightning, initiating me as a Pampa Masayak. And I'm a lineage holder because I received my Ñusta Karpay, my feminine rights, and all the training that went with it through my old beautiful Kero master teacher, who has made me promise again and again that I will please keep passing this on. And so today I want to go into the lineage that we hold is all about the Ñustas. We carry the feminine lineage within us. 25, maybe even 30 years ago, I've got to do some maths. I was living at the Findhorn Foundation, the international spiritual community in Scotland, and I came across a chapter in a book by Eileen Caddy. She wrote about the masculine and the feminine energies. It was the first time I'd ever come across this in a book. And I look back now, it was very much psychological. We might have a definition here, which I'm going to define now, but what I want to talk about in this video is way beyond this. So, in Eileen's book, she talked about the masculine energy being one that is very directed, it's very controlled. You know, the masculine energy is what we will tap into when we want to do something. It's a very much a doing energy of making things unfold in a very specific order. There's an instruction and the masculine will follow that until it becomes an end result. There is a goal, it is finite, and it fits into a box. Whereas the feminine is our emotional side. It's the creative side of who we are. It's faith and trust, and the spiritual, the very much softer elements within us are our feminine sides. Yes? So let me just say this again. Whether you are a man or a woman, we all have these within us. But generally speaking, most feminine is suppressed in all of us. It's in the whole collective, all human beings. Our feminine is not very spoken, and we see that played out in the world where the masculine dominates the feminine, but the masculine is the dominating force. So I read this a very long time ago, and I've always kind of worked with those kind of definitions. And then, you know, about 2 years before I got my rights, the feminine started calling me. I started having dreams, and there was always a woman in the dream, and she was telling me things, and there were lessons and guidance. And if you want to know more about that, then go and read my blog on my website, misskiani.com, where I go into, you know, what called me to it. When I finally got to Peru and I went and met my teacher for the first time, and he did these rites with me, what unfolded from those rites was on a whole other level I had never heard about or read about before. It took the definition that I had of the feminine within me to a whole other level, and the only way that I could understand it was to live it. I had to experience it. I had to go through, and I needed to observe myself in order to learn what it was about. The feminine is something that's very, very hard to tell you in words. I can tell you my experiences in order to give you a definition, and that's what I'm going to attempt to do now. The feminine energy doesn't do anything on its own. It always interacts. Whether that's interacting with the source, whether that's interacting with nature, whether it interacts with our soul or with our heart, it interacts way beyond itself. And because of this, The feminine will always bring the masculine and the feminine into balance. And that is probably the biggest gift that the feminine energies can offer us on the inside, and can offer our human collective to heal, because we are so out of balance. They are the creators, right? As women, we know we give birth, right? We're able to create life within our bodies. So any idea, anything that you want to begin in life, next step that wants to show up, will come from the feminine, not the masculine. The feminine will birth it, because the feminine is open to guidance. It listens to the source, it listens to the higher self, it listens to the heart space within us. And so something is born. And yes, we create from there, and most people think creative like art. But no, we create ideas, we create guidance, we create ways going forward. That is very, very feminine. And then what happens is that the masculine takes that idea, it takes that impulse, and it will put it into action. So in nature, it is filled with masculine and feminine nature beings, bringing the entire universe of Pachamama into balance. And this is something we go big into when we do the Pachamama workshop, and as we travel along this medicine path, because Andean medicine is very feminine, yes? But knowing that it will always bring the masculine and the feminine into balance. And then it does this on the inside of us too, not only balancing our masculine and feminine aspects that are within us, regardless of our sex, yes? Not only does it balance those two energies within us, but also it begins to balance the head and the heart, the ego and the soul. Most of us live a very, very heady, egoic life. This is what I mean by the human collective is so masculine, because we live directed by the ego, or the head knowing better, or the head telling us what to do, or a masculine force out there in leadership telling us what to do. It's very, very masculine. At the moment, most of us, our egos are very, very, very dominating within us. They dominate our lives. We live a place from, in a way, a very masculine place, but from a very egoic place. Very much about separation. It's all about me, myself, my shadow, right? And we define the world from our ego. And unfortunately, when we do that, it means that we also put the feminine in a box, and it must stay in the box. And most people that I meet will tell me that they know what the feminine is, but they know it from inside that box. They have no idea what it means within them and what that looks like in their lives. So when we work with the feminine path, specifically the Ñusta Karpays, I want to talk about today, but even when we work with Pachamama, when we work with some of the elements of nature that are feminine, we begin to balance our masculine and our feminine. We begin to really focus on the feminine so that it can grow and expand in us, because we know that the more that that's happening, it's balancing us, yes? And what happens is that there is this process that we go through, especially after the Ñusta Karpay, where we start to recognize where we're in very egoic behaviors. It's really like seeing your shadow. It's fascinating, and you know, it takes a lot of awareness and witnessing, and it's why I do this in groups, because it's lovely to be able to share with others so we can start to see, because it's very hard inside of ourselves, but we can see it in others. Ooh, this is a very egoic behavior. Where's the masculine? Where's the feminine? How does this come together? Okay. Not to analyze it, but to see behavior, and then to reflect back on our own. We start to look for, well, where's my heart? What is the heart? What does it mean to live from our heart? What does it mean to come from a very pure place inside? And how does the heart work with the ego? How does this come back into balance? This is the path that we begin to go on. the Andean medicine path is a deeply, deeply profound, spiritual and soulful path, because we start to explore these much deeper places within ourselves. When it comes to the feminine, it's very much about a being energy, where the masculine is the doing and will do and put into action. The feminine is very, very being. We've got to be in order to feel connected. We've got to be to slow down and feel what we're feeling, so we can identify, oh, I feel sad. We've got to be in order to listen for that creative spark. We've got to listen and be for guidance. The feminine is very, very much about being. So now you might be getting a little bit of an idea of why we live in such a masculine world. We are so addicted and caught up in doing. We very, very rarely make space for the being aspects of ourselves, where our feminine can really come out and be expanded. Yes? When we're in the feminine, she really brings us back into the body, because you can't be out there. You can think out there. You can be so caught up in your head that you're not present at all, that you're caught in the past or in the future, but not in the present. The feminine is very much about being in the present. And when we are in the present, it means we're fully embodied. We are right here, especially if you've done workshops with me where we've cleared a lot of hucha, a lot of heavy energy away. There's nothing blocking us being in the present. We just are present. Yes? So the feminine supports us to come to the moment. And when we're in this very moment and we're present, we can't escape. We start to witness our behaviors. We start to really witness where we are needing healing. We begin to heal the ancestral lines. So as the feminine expands in us and our hearts grow stronger, so does our expressions. Our throat areas start to open up. Yes, we begin to speak our hearts, and it opens up our senses, which is very, very feminine. It opens up, it's way beyond your intuition, and opens up deep soul expression. It's what we came here for. Yes, we are a soul trying to have a human experience, and to bring those qualities of the soul into the physical format of who we are. Yes, and to find the source, to find the divine, however you call that, to find that within us. And the Ñusta Karpay open the door to that. So I've seen it within myself. I've seen it in so many of my clients. They finally start to find the truth of who they are. It doesn't mean that all of our stuff stops, right? That we don't go through any tough times. But what happens is when we have challenges in our lives, we're able to deal with them much different, because we're not alone. We've got this connection inside, both to the source of who we are, to our heart spaces. We're not trying to do it from a heady place. We're able to listen for guidance about how to deal with it. And we open up to healing, and it transforms people deeply. Now, you know what my teacher said to me all those years ago? He said to me, the planet needs this now. Why? Because over the next decades and years, our feminine, our masculine is going to start coming back to balance. It needs to, because it raises consciousness. So it's vital that each of us works on this feminine, because as I raise mine, I affect the collective, and we raise the collective together. If you feel really called to this, or you feel the feminine is showing up and it's calling you in some way, you will know here. Yes. And I offer now 2 ways for people to explore this. There's the Ñusta Karpay workshops. There's 4 sessions that we do together in a small group. If you would like to go deeper, then come and join me on the Rainbow Jaguar workshop. Gently, 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 one step at a time. We're going to meet the Ñustas one by one, receive their rights. We're going to work with the support of crystals and cacao, all these really beautiful, beautiful feminine elements. And in this time, we're only going to be a small group. It's women only, 4 to 6 people maximum, and we are going to explore what is the feminine. So if you've enjoyed this topic on the Andean medicine and you want to learn more or stay in touch, I release a video every 2 weeks, then please like and subscribe below. Please share this with your friends. The world needs this, and it's such a natural way to explore and to grow our light from within us. And I look forward to seeing you at one of these events or one of these workshops. If you have any questions, please put them down below. I will respond, and I look forward to meeting you. Ciao for now.